Hey, in this video I'm going to show you how to install one of these little toilet flange, mounting flange extenders or height adapters to raise your flange height, and why you might need one, and why the fact they didn't use one here is causing so much problems. Alright, so I'm installing a new toilet, and so the old toilet was leaking around the base, was loose, which was causing the leak. So and it was old. So the original toilet here was from when the house was built in the 90s. So got the new toilet, not an easy replacement, and I'll show you why. And this flange tells it all. So what appears happened, so the toilet was the original toilet. They installed new tile on top of old tile, so they raised the height of the floor. So the problem is this flange needs to be level with the floor, or a little bit proud or higher. So the wax ring sits and you get, everything's doesn't leak. But they did not do that. So when they raised the floor height a good amount, and then bolted the toilet back down, it bent up. So when they tightened these flange bolts down, it bent the two sides up on this ABS plastic. So they're bent and cracked. So you can see cracked, and that's why the bolts were loose and the toilet was loose and why it eventually leaked. And they had two wax seals. So whoever did this in the past knew they weren't doing it right. They double stacked up wax seals to try to fix it, but it ended up damaging the flange. So I got an adapter. These are like $5-6 at Home Depot, 1/4 inch height. You can stack up to 3 of these according to the directions. So this is what should have been done, is installed a height adapter before putting the new toilet in to get it level or a little higher with that. Fortunately, they created some extra work for me. Because this is bent, I'm gonna have to cut out these bent parts and broken flange parts to get this kind of level again, so I can screw this on. But we're gonna get started with that. So again, cutting this because it's bent is an extra step I have to do. Had you just installed the flange, if you say you did new floor and you raised your height or you needed a higher flange, if you'd have done this from the get-go, I wouldn't have to deal with this bent and cracked, damaged flange that I'm gonna have to fix. Couple key notes for the install: make sure you get as much of the old wax off as possible, clean it really good, and then. If this was, so this is PVC, this is ABS plastic, so I can't use like a primer and cement, like PVC cement, so the directions say to use 100% silicone. So once I clean this wax up and remove these broken parts, I'm going to put a bead of 100% silicone down before I screw down the new flange. Alright, so I cut out the bent parts. So this is the area where I'm going to put the silicone, so I cleaned all the wax off that area well. I'm just going to go ahead and dry fit this. Get the screw holes lined up and the flanges where I want them. So this has 2 ways. You can use the set-in ones here. They don't have as much adjustability. Or you can line the slotted holes to the side, so you have more adjustability. I'm not sure which way I want to do it, but I'll figure out which way I want here in a minute. Get this dry fitted. Probably put a couple screws in, because I'm probably not going to line up with the holes in this old flange perfectly, which is fine. My screws will be able to go through this ABS plastic into the subfloor. But I will try to get them to where the old holes were. There were 3 screws in this old flange that I already removed. They weren't even the right kind of screws. They weren't galvanized or coated, so they were all rusty. But I'll get this dry fitted, get a couple screws in, see if it's going to be where I want it before I silicone and do the final install. Alright, I got 4 screws in. I'm happy with how it turned out. I got it nice and flush. I just played with the
tightness of the screws to bend the warped underplate back. Again, you probably wouldn't have to do that. And I am level or just proud of the existing floor, which is what you want. You don't want it recessed. You want it to match or be slightly above, which I am. It's not perfectly flush. It's about as close as I could get it level with the tile all the way around. But I'm happy with that. So now I'm gonna take the screws back out, put the silicone on. Make sure you pick up 100% silicone, right? 30 minutes, it's water ready, won't shrink or crack. Maximum adhesion. So 100% silicone is what you want. And that flange sandwich, or this new extender flange, sandwiches this part here. So this is the part I've cleaned really well. And I'm gonna put a nice thick bead here. All right, and I went a little extra, like I built it a second layer higher, so I did a big bead on top and around the outside, just because my flange is kind of warped. So I want to make sure I don't have any gaps. So I went a little taller for my install. But let's get it fitted back up and get the screws in. All right, got it tightened down. I can see where the silicone is squished out, and where it's squished out in here, I'm just going to run it nice. I can feel it all the way around. I'm just going to make sure there's nice connection between the ABS black flange and the new white flange all around the inside as well. Another little tip, so in my application I have a 12-inch rough end, meaning my flange belt bolts go 12 inches from the base wall, which with this 1/2 inch baseboard is an 11.5, so I'm just setting my toilet studs 11.5 inches before I tighten them down to get them in the right spot. Now the holes on the toilet are wide, so you also have some room to get the toilet situated when you're done. That's a good way to get your studs in the right place. And that's it. We're done with the extension plate install. Got my studs tightened back in. I'll probably let it dry another 10-15 minutes. Let that silicone dry before I put the wax seal on the toilet back on. But yeah, that's it for this one. I had never used one of these before, so I knew they made stuff like this. I've never run into a problem where someone did an incorrect install, and that's why the toilet was leaking. So as soon as I took the toilet off, I realized, it's not going to work. Went to Home Depot, picked up one of these flanges. Again, $5-6. I'll leave a link in the description for it if you want to use it. And now I just got to get the toilet back on. Toilet is all the way mounted now. It doesn't wobble back and forth. It's solid. I don't have any leaks. So that little flange extender worked perfect. Already flushed it a few times. Looks good. So, hey, if you like these do-it-yourself Reno repair videos, make sure to like and subscribe to see more. All right, thanks.